Hello everyone and welcome. You guys know that I'm always looking for the best tools at the best prices. Well, recently I came across this long neck ratchet on Amazon that claims to have more voltage, more accessories, and more torque than the Harbor Freight Hercules equivalent and at a much lower price. So you know that I just had to try this out. So if you're looking for a cordless, battery-operated, long neck ratchet that gives you more power and more accessories than what Harbor Freight has to offer and at a lower price, stick around as I unbox and test this puppy. Alright guys, so when you unbox this puppy, this is everything you get. Now this is the 16.8 volt cordless long neck ratchet from Alloyman, available on Amazon, link in description below. At the time of making this video, this kit retails for $69.99. But they also have an $8 discount coupon on their Amazon page, bringing it down to around $60, which is pretty darn cheap. Comparing this to the Harbor Freight Hercules long neck ratchet, that tool right now at the making of this video is retailing for $120, tool only. So this kit right here is a much better value when you compare it to the Hercules at Harbor Freight. So what do you get when you unbox this guy? Well, you get the long neck ratchet itself. You get the owner's manual that tells you everything about the unit, how to take care of it, service it, all that kind of good stuff. I suggest you read through that. You get a nice storage case to keep it all in when you're not using it. You get a 1-hour rapid charger. You get 2 batteries, and these are 16.8 volt, 2 amp hour rechargeable lithium ion batteries. The Harbor Freight unit uses a 12 volt battery, so these are stronger at 16.8 volts. You get 7 sockets and an adapter. The sockets are in metric, and you get 7 sizes starting from 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And the adapter is from 3/8 to 1/4 because it does have a 3/8 head on it, so you can use 1/4 without any trouble at all. The warranty on this guy is 1 year, and the dimensions on this unit are 12 inches by 2 inches by 2.5 if you count the trigger as well. Like I said previously, this guy is powered up by 16.8 volt batteries, and the runtime on this guy is 6 hours when fully charged. This guy comes with a 1-hour rapid charger, so if you ever run out of a battery, you put it on the charger and you go on to the next battery, and within an hour, you have another battery fresh and ready to go. This guy has a 4.5 inch extended neck on it, where Harbor Freight is only 4 inches. This guy can produce up to 400 RPMs and 45 foot-pounds of torque, or 66 Newton meters. The Harbor Freight unit only produces up to 275 RPMs and 40 foot-pounds, so this one's faster and stronger than the Harbor Freight Hercules unit. So this unit is great for doing all sorts of automotive or machinery assembly and disassembly, and great for getting into those hard-to-reach areas that a normal ratchet would not be able to reach. Aside from that, when you compare this long neck ratchet to the Harbor Freight Hercules long neck ratchet, this unit is a much better value. In this package, you get a more powerful ratchet, longer warranty, more accessories, battery and charger already included, and all that for half the price of what Harbor Freight charges for their Hercules long neck ratchet. So you see why I decided to test this guy out. So let's do a little testing and see how this guy performed, but first let's take a little closer look at it. Alright guys, let's take a little closer look at this unit and get a little bit more acquainted with it. But first let me point out something about the batteries. You'll notice that the batteries, sometimes with a lot of these products, like the Harbor Freight Hercules, has a big awkward battery at the bottom. I like this design where the battery slips right into the body so it doesn't take up any more space, and it makes it easier to maneuver into tight, hard to reach areas. So they basically gave you more voltage in the same size package because all they did was reorient the batteries right there. This is the same as your normal 12 volt battery, but you see the 12 volt battery is in a triangle shape where this one is in a square. So they were able to get an extra cell in there, giving you, instead of 12 like this one, 16.8, making it longer and stronger and much better in the same size package. So basically you see the batteries are pretty much the same dimension, just a little different design. So that's pretty cool right there. That's very good use of space and dynamics right there. Now the unit itself, basically you have the long neck right there, 3/8 inch ratchet. You have your selector forward and backwards right here on top, very easy to reach. Some of these guys are a bit depressed, so it's harder to get at. This one stands out nicely, so it's easy to work with. You have a nice overmold right there, making it easier for you to grip the unit and work it without any trouble at all. Has a nice metal trigger, which I like that. Some units are plastic. This one happens to be metal. Has a lockout right there so you can lock it. And when you press that, it doesn't go anywhere. So that's pretty cool right there. You notice it has an LED right there that lights up the area you're working on. And you see it produces pretty good lighting. So that's fairly convenient right there. It also has a battery level indicator right here, where it tells you how much charge you have on your battery. Unlike some units that may not bring that, I think that is critical. That's very important because these design batteries do not have any battery indicator, so you need to have it on the tool. I always look for that. So that's pretty cool right there. Like I said, this is metal, so that's fairly cool right there. You can drop it and not worry about breaking it. So that's very good, very convenient, easy to handle, very cool right there. And the battery slips in and out without any trouble at all. Very easy to maneuver that, no trouble at all. Now let me show you the size of the head in case you're curious. Here is your standard ratchet, and if we line them up together, this is another battery operated ratchet that I have. And if you line them up together, you can see right there the difference in the head of the two different units. Your short normal one here and your extended neck right here. So that gives you some idea of what you get. This is pretty much double the size from a standard one. So there you go. So let's set up some test subjects and see how this guy performs. Alright guys, is one of the factors that we're talking about with this new machine is the RPMs, how it compares to the Harbor Freight and so forth. I don't have a Harbor Freight, but I do have another one here that I've had for many, many months now. And so let me show you the difference as far as from this standard unit that I've had from before to this brand new one that I got now, so you can see back to back how they compare as far as the RPMs go. So let me show you this one, the 12 volt unit, just like the Harbor Freight, 12 volts. And this one. You can see that it goes faster and sounds stronger. You can see right there how the two differentiate from one another. So let's do a little bit of testing on some bolts. Alright guys, so let's do a little bit of testing with this guy. I have a couple of bolts set up here on a block of wood, and we're going to sink those in and see how it performs as far as driving them, pulling back out, etc. And I'm using one of the sockets that came with it, an 11mm. We're going to use that on those bolts right now. But one thing I wanted to point out before I start doing the testing, and this will apply to this unit and every other electric cordless ratchet out there. I'm just pointing this out because I want to educate my viewers as to how these guys work. Because I see some comments sometimes on YouTube, Amazon, and so forth, where people will comment, well, the unit wasn't strong enough, it didn't break loose rusty bolts that I had. That is not the way these guys are supposed to work. This is not a breaker bar. This is not an impact wrench. These guys do not impact. Remember, it only has like 45 foot-pounds of torque. It is not a monster torque unit. These guys are meant to speed up your work process. That's all. Like I said, this guy and all the other units out there are the same. They're only meant to speed up your process, and they work as a ratchet even if you're not using the trigger. You can still use this without a battery put in it. It works just fine as a ratchet. The way that these guys are supposed to work is that you use it to put bolts in, and then you tighten it by hand. And you want to take out a rusty bolt, use an impact wrench or a breaker bar, and then you take it out. Then you use this guy to speed up your process and take it out. I'll demonstrate what I mean in just a moment. But that's the way these guys are supposed to work. So don't think it is meant to break loose rusty old bolts that are really stuck in there. That's not what these guys are for. So let me show you how these guys work. So you see that it sped up the process putting it in. Now, you can really torque it down if you want to. And if it doesn't break a loose, let me turn it around and see what it can do. Actually, it did. Actually, it broke it loose quite well. You saw that I was torquing it down. It did a decent job. But if it doesn't break it loose, then you just torque it loose manually and then hit the trigger and pull it all the way out. This is just to speed up your process. That's what they're meant for. Now let's pull this guy out, see if it'll do it. So it actually did relatively well. Let's change up the socket here. Let me put a bigger bolt. See how this guy performs. Here's a little bit bigger bolt and it has a bigger head on it. Drive this guy in there. And you saw it was working much harder there, to the point where I can't even reach it, it's so far in there. There you go. It did a decent job with that. Let's try a different one. This is a little smaller bolt right here. Let's put a different area right here. A little smaller one. There's a 10 millimeter. See about driving this guy in. And then you can really torque this guy in if you want to. And there you go. And then you're done if you want to. You can see I sunk it down pretty far. Let's see if it'll pull it out. If I can get it to work on there. It actually did a pretty decent job considering I really torqued it down in there. I'm really surprised. It actually did a fairly decent job. For an inexpensive unit that is half the price of the Hercules, I'm really quite impressed. Actually, it hasn't let me down. And you saw, I really torqued it down. So it's not like I'm cheating on this. I really torqued them down pretty hard. So there you go. It does a decent job. Alright guys, there you have it. A review and demonstration of a very affordable long neck cordless ratchet from Alloyman. I'm actually rather impressed with this little ratchet. I didn't know what to expect when I got it, but as you saw, it handled some torqued down bolts rather easily. I torqued them down as far as I could, and it still pulled them back out without much of a struggle. I guess that's where the 16.8 volts gives you more power than the standard 12 volt ratchet would have. When comparing this ratchet to the Harbor Freight Hercules ratchet, I think this ratchet combo is a really good value for the money. You get the ratchet, 2 batteries, 7 sockets, and a longer warranty for much less money than what Harbor Freight charges for just the tool only. Check out their Amazon page for complete details. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye for now.